Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is raining like crazy here in North Carolina this morning, and, we're going to have a call-in Thursday, so everybody be revved up for that one, right? But today, just a little bit to talk about, not a lot. I want to talk about the news I saw this morning. Can you believe it? Frankie Rodriguez, otherwise known as KRod, he is wanting to make a comeback this year, and so is, guess who? Mets fans, get ready. Bartolo wants back in. Yeah. Now, let's first take a look at Frankie Rodriguez. He hasn't pitched. This is crazy. He hasn't pitched in the major leagues since June of 2017. That's right, June of 17. So right now, if we just started today, it would be a 3-year absence from the major leagues. Wow. Can you imagine? And so, chat room, I'm with you. I've been here all along. I just had some work to do. I was trying to make sure I got on before 10 o'clock, and hey, I did. But yeah, KRod, 38, hadn't pitched in 3 years. Now, the pedigree, 16 seasons, 6-time All-Star, 4th all-time in saves in Major League Baseball, 437. Who does he trail? He trails, well, the great one, Rivera, Hoffman, and Lee Smith. They're the only 3 players who have more career saves than Frankie. But guess what? Rivera's retired, Hoffman's retired, Lee Smith's retired, and do you think KRod should stay that way? Yeah, I mean, somebody said he thinks he's only 38. Everything I read says he is. I don't know. But having been away from the game for now for 18, 19, and so far in 20, I just don't see it. I mean, there's a reason why he stopped pitching in June of 2017. How many in June of 17 or in 2017? And do you remember the home runs? Do you remember the way he was beaten around? That's why he was released. So we'll see. It's going to be, well, it's already unlike any other year I've ever known. But if Frankie Rodriguez at age 38 can come back, who's next? Okay, who's next? Who's going to be someone who's been retired who says, I want to come back and play? Here's the thing, guys. It's only going to be half a season. And I was watching, as you probably have, I've talked about before, The Last Dance, the series on ESPN about the Bulls. And then after the last episode aired Sunday night, there was some discussion on ESPN about why not bring this group back and what if they had come back. Aging veterans, sure, but if you remember, the NBA season in 1999 cut short by a strike. They only played like 50 games. It would have been a perfect scenario for a group of veterans to come back and be able to play. And maybe that's why you're seeing Frankie Rodriguez say, I want to come back. It's going to be a short year. I can gas it up. We'll see what happens. Well, no sooner had the news broken about KRod than Bartolo Colon says, hey, I'd like to come back and pitch for the Mets again. I know you Mets fans are like clamoring. Can't wait for Bartolo to come back. And he hasn't pitched since September of 2018. Now, he's going to be, by all reports and records, 47 years old next week. That's right, 47 next week. The last time I saw Bartolo Colon in the major leagues was September of 2018. He was overweight then. I can only imagine what he might look like today. No organized ball at all of any kind in 2019. So here we go. Will Bartolo Colon come back and play for the Mets this year? I don't know. We'll have to see. 21 seasons under his belt. When he first came up, he threw smoke, had some arm troubles. He learned how to finesse it. He now has 247 wins. I'm getting a text from Lenny. Good morning, Lenny. I'm looking in the chat room at all you guys. It's good to be with you this morning. Let's give a call out to the chat room real quick. Andrea Bigelow on the Prowl, Clarona, DeMazins, DK, George. And I listened to your show, George, Sunday night. You did a great job. Lenny, Royals, Ken 29, boom. That means Kevin Hastings. And we got two guests. Guest Nicholas, guest Sheena, whoever you are. Guys, it would be so good to see the guest register, wouldn't it? And just become part of the network here, which is Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports. Good morning, Kevin Hastings. Hope you're doing well. I guess that you are coming on next. No, you were good, George. I enjoyed it. Hey, Sunday nights are typically my nights to spend either with my family or on dates. Okay, I just tell it like it is. I don't usually work much on Sundays, and it's my family day or my personal day, and I'm usually gone on Sunday nights, but I made a point to make sure I tuned in Sunday night, listening to George, and I was impressed. Yes, I was. So I will listen again, and here you go. Tomorrow night at, I think it's 7 o'clock, it's King Hap. And I can't wait to hear the king in his court tomorrow night. I understand Taco may be on with him, so it's going to be great. But, what do you guys think about these aging vets? Frankie Rodriguez, Bartolo Colon, are there going to be more who might say, hey, I think I got a little bit left in the tank? It's easy to say that in May when you've not gone through spring training, you've not gone out and stretched it all out, you've not gone out and pushed yourself. I feel like right now I could go play, I tell you. But can you imagine me after about a week? I go to fantasy camp. I play baseball every January with the Yankees in Tampa. We play doubleheaders every day, okay? For about a month before I go, I'm in training. I'm working out, I'm running, I'm sprinting, I'm doing things. I go down to Florida, I go to playing baseball, hitting the ball, throwing the ball, sliding, the whole gimmick. And after the first day, when I go back in on Wednesday morning, I'm ready for the tub, man. I'm telling you, those sore muscles, and they don't get less sore the older you get. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about. And so it's easy to talk about playing again. I just can't see it. I tell you, a guy that I've seen pitch, though, at our fantasy camps, and I'm wondering, why is he not still playing, is El Duque. I'm telling you, El Duque is in shape. And he's been retired several years now. But he can throw it. He can run it. He looks like a player even today. Now, KRod, has he been training? Don't know. We'll have to see. Bartolo, has he been training? I can't imagine. I just really can't imagine. So, interesting to see what happens with these guys. Good morning, Andrea. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do make a comeback. It'll be interesting to see who might take a flyer on KRod or might take a flyer on Cologne. I can't imagine. We'll have to see. So the latest on the talks are we're still talking money. It's, what do you think? What are the odds on us having a baseball season? Around North Carolina, we're starting to open things back up. Friday's a big day here. The governor is supposedly going to lift some restrictions. Haircuts and restaurants and all those things will probably be back open. The beaches are already back open here in Carolina. I think it's a regional thing. I think it's where you are. I've been working. I've been out. I've been doing things here in North Carolina. I know you guys up north have been much more confined. But it's got to be a national thing for us to come back. Just because some areas are good doesn't mean all are. That's one element of this thing. But the other element is the money. And you can say what you want. You can handle it how you want to. Until the money issue is resolved, there is no baseball. Okay? And there's talk about teams losing money. There's talk about teams and players agreeing or not agreeing to cut salaries. Okay? There are going to be losses. The Yankees are set to lose over $300 million. That's a report. $300 million. Okay? The players have agreed to some pay cut. The owners are not going to be getting the same revenue, but they're going to get some revenue. And, I think what owners, players, I wish there was this one thing in place. I think if you had one word in place that was mutual and went both ways, then we could have baseball. And that one word is simply this: TRUST. If you had some TRUST amongst the players towards the owners, and owners towards players, and you could take the greed out. Well, now I'm talking about dehumanizing, because this is not where we are with today's game, right? I'm looking at a post made in the chat room. I'm going to just read it. It says, Major League Baseball claims the Royals will lose $113 million if the players don't agree to further pay cuts. Okay. Players have agreed to cut $40 to $50 million. An additional 33% proposed cut is approximately $15 million. Then there's some talk about the Yankees, and I just told you they're going to lose projected $300 million. Players have agreed to pay cuts there. So it's a matter of how badly do the owners and players want to make it happen. I've always been a believer. If you want to make something happen, you can do it. And players and owners have got to come to the table and have a common goal in mind and be able to work through. This has major implications towards the collective bargaining agreement that's going to come down sometime next year. If we don't make progress in 2020 towards playing, I can only imagine what's going to happen when the collective bargaining agreement expires next year and the players and the owners are back at it again. Here's the deal. Here's the skinny. This year and next year are lifeline for Major League Baseball. Lifeline-ish. You've got to realize, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, NFL, NBA, they have surpassed, they have figured it out. Not only how to market, but how to work together, ownership and players. Major League Baseball has not done that. And I don't know that it can be done. Now, if the owners would agree to a 3-year revenue share or a revenue share to get through to the collective bargaining agreement, that would put us through 2021. Maybe the players would be more inclined to do that. It's funny, isn't it? The owners have never, ever wanted to do revenue sharing until this year when their revenues are down. That's, yeah. And so I think if the ownership would say, I tell you what we'll do, players, we'll not only do revenue sharing this year, but we'll do revenue sharing next year as well. We'll have an owner representative. We'll have a union representative. We'll put them together on all revenues coming into Major League Baseball so that there is transparency, so that there is full disclosure. I think it's going to take, if you're going to go revenue sharing, more than just 2020. 2020 is an anomaly. It is not a point of reference for anything other than crazy. Okay, so you can't use 2020 to say, hey, we'll give you revenue sharing this year and that's it. Try it for 2021 too. Do some type of revenue sharing in 2021 to tack on to 2020, and let's see how that goes. Does that float? Do the owners ever offer that? Would the players ever consider that? I don't think it's on the table, but I think to put revenue sharing on just this year is a waste of breath from the owner's perspective. Okay, there's no way they will do it. These are billion-dollar investments, Major League Baseball teams. Okay, and can you imagine all of a sudden them saying we will share revenue with the players? If they do, hey, if they share revenue 50-50, if I'm a player, I am absolutely on board with that. And if that would be offered, then I think it makes the collective bargaining coming up in 2021 so